peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Thank you very much. Viewers, good morning, Kenya. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, all of you, wherever you are in the world watching us. This is Punchline Africa Television, the only television in Africa that speaks Africa for Africa, by Africa, with Africa. The only television station that defends Africa. The only television station that points out mistakes. Is Magufuli worth? Is he serving Africa? Where has the dream of Nyerere gone? Those are some of the critical things we look at. You say people are not dying when they are dying. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from 1, the political command center in London, and 2, the headquarters in Nairobi. With us on the panel this morning is our in-house panel, headed by none other than Professor Gerard Onyari, Javani Karanja, Musa Haji, and Douglas Budi Kirimi, the destroyer from Meru. Thank you very much. And under the commandership and the command of our general headquarters, senior anchor and a senior presenter of Punchline Africa Television, Miriam Ogutu. Good morning, madam.
A very good morning to you, good morning to our viewers, and good morning to our panelists.
I hand it over first to you, but before I do that, let me just mention we shall be having these topics today are clear. It's a Friday, it's a relaxing moment. We shall begin with Professor, the story that you know. Miriam will read us the headlines. If you have picked anything in the headline, come in with it. Let's talk. So that after that, we take 20 minutes interval. And we come back again, we talk. If you have any story that you have picked up, stick to your story. Justify to the public that your story this week, what you thought from Monday up to Friday, was the best story. Thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. And I'll read through the headlines this morning. I'll start with the Standard newspaper, and the main headline there: what Uhuru Raila told party leaders, a BBI victory lap. A referendum on the BBI bill could be held by May. It emerged after President Kenyatta hosted political leaders for nearly 4 hours at State House. The leaders planned countrywide engagements to sensitize the public on the document. That is what is on the headline there. And on the Star newspaper, Ruto factor anxiety as NASA feuds deepen. DP could now lurch into split to cobble together a giant political machine. And the Battle of Titans, tough contest for big guns in 11 by-elections. That also is on the side there. And on the Daily Nation, the main headline there reads, big split in Ruto camp over BBI. Which way? Key allies are pulling in 3 different directions. One faction wants a Deputy President Ruto to ignore campaign and focus on 2022 election. A second is advising him to back the bill ahead of referendum, while the third is pushing him to lead the no side. And beside that story is extra cost of parliament if BBI passes, and the vaccine story around just on the side there. So that is what is on the headline this morning in the leading newspapers there.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Let's cross over to Professor Gerard Onyari. Kickstart our game this morning. What was good? What was the best? Outstanding performance, outstanding topic that we discussed, outstanding topic that you feel Kenyans and the world and our viewers can actually take home. Our students, those who watch us, what was it, Prof?
Thank you, Dr. Masanga, Miriam, and my fellow panelists and our viewers. What came to me outstanding this week is that Miriam You know, as I do, that I love this country, have passion for this country. I wish well for this country. I pray for this country. And on Tuesday, the Super Tuesday, the members of the County Assembly from their respective counties were able to pass the BBI bill, paving way for it to be taken to the Senate and the National Assembly for debate, and finally to go for the referendum, so that we chart the way forward for this country. What I'm trying to say that the handshake was just an abstract. Every other day it is becoming practical and practical. And yesterday it was an amazing, also it was a super State House meeting, because it can bring 7 leaders together, Miriam.
Professor, I'm being asked if you could adjust your headroom just a little bit. You're a bit too far.
Yeah, what I'm saying that yesterday was also a very good day for this country, because the 7 leaders from the different political leaders, Miriam, can come forward, Miriam, to thank the members of the County Assembly. And a sign of gratitude, Miriam, is very key. So this one came very outstanding to me. And what made me very happy is that the temperature of politics from the Tanga wing in this country, it came down. And it has done to the deputy president, that Miriam, that you can cheat all people. You can cheat all the people. You can use all the propaganda to all people, but not all the time. This week, it came out to him, it dawned out to him that Kenyans are above that they want well and prosperity for their country. This is very great, Miriam.
Back to Miriam.
All right, very well. Jeven Karanja, what stood out for you this week?
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And indeed, in support, like we share the same with the doctor, with Professor Jared Onyari, because for me, the Super Tuesday was a great day, because a lot was expected. Because the county assembly were the one to give us the leeway for a referendum, and they did exactly that. Therefore, they gave Kenyans an opportunity to interact with the BBI document and to make their voice heard. And you remember we had the Tuguza Mizigo initiative, and it was shut down at the county assembly. Therefore, the county assemblies then, they didn't give us a chance as Kenyans to air our views on what we want with the document. But this one of the BBI, we will have a chance to go and make our decision on the ballot. Therefore, to me, that was great, because at the end of the day, BBI is a great document. It is good for all Kenyans. And if you look at it, everybody is included in the document, because all Kenyans from all walks of life, they gave their views when the BBI steering committee, during the when the BBI task force were correcting the views and proposals from Kenyans. Therefore, this is a document solely owned by Kenyans. Therefore, we are the people to drive it, and we are the people to create a good country and a great constitution that will work for us. And that is exactly what the BBI is doing. Therefore, Super Tuesday was a great day, and it came and stand out for the whole country, because we saw counties like Bomet, Kericho, where the deputy president comes from, passing the amendment bill. And Miriam, yesterday, from the newspapers, we learned that the people of Kericho, the MCAs, were persuaded by their voters, by the people who voted them, to go and pass the BBI amendment bill. This shows that, apart from the noise that has been going around about the wheelbarrows, the mikokotenis, and so on, Kenyans have, and we still have Kenyans of independent minds who can read between the lines and understand where the future is and where the propaganda is. If the people of Kericho, where deputy president brags of having the support, they can pass the BBI amendment bill, this shows that he is losing the reality with the ground, and people are not buying this wheelbarrow thing. Therefore, it is at the end of the day, we see Kenyans who are determined to ensure that we have a great nation where all of us will be included. I know today the MCAs in Baringo are regretting what they did, because they did it out of persuasion. They didn't go for the public participation. Therefore, when you look at all these issues, BBI is good for all Kenyans, and it is high time. And yesterday I was happy to see party leaders coming together to thank the people, the MCAs, because of the good well done. Therefore, the mandate now is for the people of Kenya to go read, interact with the document, so that when we go to vote, when we go for the referendum, we will make a wiser decision, a decision to make this country great, to take this country to the next level, so that we can solve issues that have been dividing us, especially the issue of divisive elections and the fight against corruption. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Musa, what stood out for you over the week?
Let me unmute. Thank you so much, Miriam, for having me on the show. Wow, what stood out for me in the week were two discussions we had. The one discussion we had, Miriam, is the question of this amendment bill. For the first time, I saw the role of a third party. That is what, stakeholders have to say as far as, now the common mwananchi is concerned. And what came out very clearly for me is the event of, these Kericho people. That has been very clear to me, that people can really influence at times that even Kenyans, we can, go beyond politics. Go beyond campaigns and poor discussions just to, focus on positive politics of making better decisions. The second thing which really stood out for me, Miriam, is the African School of Thought discussion by Dr. David Matsanga. When he posed a question to many political science and international relations students, do we really need election in Africa? And that is what has been unfolding, left, right, and center in this continent. And I saw a lot of positivity and, a lot of divergent and, different discussion when the television brought a diverse discussion from, countries like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa. For the first time, Miriam, I was able to realize that we might have been sharing the same ideologies and the same vision for this continent, but the problem we have are the same problems, being talked about here in Kenya, being talked about there in Tanzania, being talked there about here, in South Africa and Zimbabwe. And finally, Miriam, what I really came to learn, all across this is how, ideologies have been playing, party ideologies, leaders' ideologies. Yesterday, we were talking about leaders with ideologies, leaders with no, political significance. So, Miriam, I think we've really learned a lot. For the first time personally in my paneling, experience, I've been able to hear how a Zimbabwean, a Zimbabwe citizen, and South African feels about Ramaphosa and Mnangagwa, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. Douglas, what stood out for you this week?
Thank you, Miriam. What stood out for me is the president of the USA, Joe Biden, calling President Uhuru Kenyatta and underscoring the role of President Uhuru Kenyatta and our country on the Horn of Africa. Remember, the Horn of Africa has been very shaky in recent times amidst resource-greedy Western allies, amidst a very undermanned Farmajo who does not accept that the role of Kenya, including the many human sacrifices we have made to be able to bring peace in their country, amidst our own initiatives to make sure that the people of Somalia are okay. And this goes to the very few people that think that Kenya has not played any role in making sure that our neighbor is okay. Remember, anywhere, when your neighbor is not okay, you are never okay. At one time or in any instance, you are as shaky as your neighbor. But what stood for me is the president of the free world, the leader of the free world, picking up his phone and calling His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta and underscoring his role in the Horn of Africa. And also mentioning the issue of Tigray. The people of Tigray were mentioned in that conversation. The people of Tigray continue being victimized in their own country. The people of Tigray continue suffering under the hands of Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia and also the federal government of Ethiopia. President Joe Biden underscored the role Kenya can be able to play as far as the issue in Tigray is concerned. That puts us in a pedestal that we cannot come down, especially when we are dealing with the resource-greedy Western allies in the issue of India, oil blocks in Indian Ocean, and also, particularly, the president of Somalia Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, the nephew of Siad Barre. It underscores our position as a regional leader and also a regional player in terms of peace, development, and the stability of the Horn of Africa. This stood for me very clearly because Kenya's contribution to the Horn of Africa and its stability has been able to be recognized beyond Vira Somalia, beyond the people of Somalia that don't think that Kenya has been able to do something that can be able to help their country. And also something that stood for me out this week is the defeat of William Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. He has been using millions of shillings to continue fighting the BBI process. A man that has never stood for reforms even a single day in his life. A man that has been eating from the Rajis of the state since 1992 when he left the university. A man that has never stood for the people of Kenya. A man that has now turned against the people that helped him, calling them dynasties and also calling them people that don't care about the Oroi Poroi of this nation. A man whose agenda has been to disintegrate and also make sure that the peace that the people of Kenya have so sought for so many years is destroyed by telling them that the BBI is creating positions for the few people at the top. A man that Kenyans have defined and also said that they can read for themselves, they can see what this constitutional moment means. They have separated the issues around the constitutional moment versus William Ruto's ambitions in 2022, which I continue terming personal ambitions. When William Ruto is paid his salary, about 2 million shillings as a president, he'll take that money to his wife and children at home. That is not our concern. Our going concern as a country now, the ordinary people, the Oroi Poroi of this nation, the ordinary people that make up the majority of this nation, have spoken and spoken loudly. They want to interact with this document. They want money taken back to the grassroots. They want more decentralization of money from the counties to the ward level. They want more money so that they can be able to take their children to school, so that they can bring clean water, electricity, good roads, and also better their lives as citizens of this country. Young people have said in the affirmative they don't want to be dragged into the issues of Wilibaro versus dynasty. They want to entrench the Youth Commission in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, because this is a constitutional moment. This is not a contest between the Right Honorable Raila Odinga or Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto. The hypocrisy of Dr. William Ruto has been able to be exposed by the people of Kenya, who have said in the affirmative they want the constitutional moment to be seized and they want to entrench it in the constitution medium. This is what stands out for me. The two issues, the president of the US calling Uhuru Kenyatta of the Republic of Kenya, and also exposure of the hypocrisy of Dr. William Ruto. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Back to you, Doctor.
First of all, Professor, I know you are leaving, but here, what is in my heart? What is it? What is in my heart is all of us together, punchline, we have delivered a legacy. All of us should clap for ourselves in our hearts. Clap. If you can't clap, fine, but be happy. You are the team. I would like to announce to you, you are the team. We got the legacy. We are on it. We have delivered the legacy. Whether you like it or not, you can go to South Sahara, north of Limpopo, south of Sahara. Enjoy the legacy trade. We are gone. We brought redemption. It is here. 2.5 years. That has stood out for me. 2.5 years. It has stood out for me. I've been battling the social media. You saw it. You have seen it. The articles are there. It's not a lie. Every day, 4 a.m., we wake up, we deliver articles. Some people thought that, oh, this man writes longer things, wrong. But then people went back to read. People went back to read. They read these articles every morning. Some who have not read, they say, let me look here. We have delivered. We have defended the presidency. That stands out for me. We have defended the president from these stupid, delinquent abuses that took place on social media. Single-handedly, with my team, we delivered a legacy. We stood out as the defender. We have never waffled. Matsanga will never waffle. Have you seen me waffling? That mara unaniona niko kwa Ruto. Oh, and for what? I was the first one that God put me on earth. How can I go and beg Ruto? Mungu aliweka mimi kwa dunia kwanza. So siwezi kuenda kwake. We have delivered. Yes. People did not want a handshake. Matsanga said, yes, this is a good gesture of a redemption strategy. For me, that is all. I can go home. I can extend myself to attack. There is that cold place called attack. The sea up there. From London, I can go to the further coordinates. But I have left a notion on the continent that this was the best redemption strategy that ever happened south of Sahara, north of Limpopo. Two men came up, stood up, said, you won the vote, I lost the vote. The country called Kenya moves on. That is a legacy. That is a legacy. Forget about PLO Lumumba, rubbish. That's why he can't even get a job. Rubbish. And I'm now telling you, PLO from today, it is on. Let's have it. You have the audience, I have the audience. Watch it, woman. Wewe na mimi. Because every African is calling us to say, what are you trying to do, PLO? You are thinking that nobody, your hatred for Raila Odinga should not be transformed into the hatred for Kenyans doing better. You all come from Siaya. If kama mnapigania kwa because of the boundary, tell us, we separate you. Yeah. But you cannot go on balkanizing all of us, wanting all of us to hate Raila Odinga, even when he has done something very good. Me, I will never, let me tell you, no, there are things that I disagree with Honorable Raila Odinga on a number of things. The last elections, one of them was George Soros, and I was right. Yes, but when he shook the hand with Raila shook the hand with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, should I continue condemning him? Surely, am I the most stupid man on planet Earth? Tell me. Now Raila has gone to shake the hand with the man who won an election, and Raila accepted. He has 7 million people. I continue to insult him? No. 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 Above all, Raila is my age bracket. We need to give him only 5 years. Na yeye aongoze nchi. Me, I'm open. Please, you can quote me. If you want to go and hang, go and hang. I have no other candidate to campaign for. Sorry. Stupid. Stupid, to say stupid in Kalenjin is not a problem. Easy to Musa. When Kalenjin calls you stupid, it's not a bad thing. It's part of the slang. My candidate is Raila Amolo Odinga. And you know where Masanga is. There is always a volcano. Try me now. So that stood out for me. So you go and do what you want to do. Stop me from flying if you want. Can you? Can you? Can you? stop me from flying. Do I fly with your money? I've never borrowed Ruto money to fly. I've used my money to remove him from a sea. He would be under the cooler of Atlantic Ocean itself. Where? Aterere. Where? Aye. Aterere. Where Karanja? Huh?
Yeah.
That is my decision. So that stood out for me. I don't care, and I'm not going. Let me now tell you, I'm not going to go to Raila's office to seek money to campaign for him. Tell him I'm going to campaign for him for free. For free. Because he's a rebel leader like me. He suffered like me. I've suffered like him. So we have something in common. Kwisha. Sasa, bring it on. Kutoka leo, bring it on. Later, bring legacy. Raila will keep Uhuru's legacy. Ruto will not keep Uhuru's legacy. Ruto will kill the legacy. Ruto will arrest. Have you seen how Ruto's people tell us that if he takes over presidency, number one man who should run out of the country is Dr. Matanga. So how can I give you my vote? When I still have time like this, I must also decampaign you so that you don't come out to the presidency. You're here. So I still have time. I must decampaign Ruto so that Ruto does not touch the power of this country. Because he has promised me I will be a dead corpse across Lake Victoria in Entebbe. Ananiambia, washameniambia, Musa, am I telling a lie? Kirimi, am I telling a lie? Karanja, haven't you read? Onyari, haven't you read? Miriam, don't you read these things? They have told me that please, when we take over, that day, you will be the first cargo. Cargo. You know I'm not even going like a normal cargo. I will be the first cargo delivered to the master of Mr. Ruto. Isn't it? So me, having been a rebel leader, like a Garang, like a Museveni, like a Raila. Raila was a rebel leader. Like a Kogi Wamwere was a rebel leader. And let's not tell lies that Raila was not the head of Mwakenya. When? Why don't you tell the people the truth? We were struggling against Moi. Were we struggling with teeth? Kenyans need to know. Raila went to Stockholm. Raila passed very bad places. Raila changed the name like a Matanga changed. Wonder. So don't we have similarities? Raila has ever carried a passport which is not his. So let him have this last chance. Achukue miaka 5 hii, Kenya iendelee mbele na unity of purpose. Mimi nimeshasema wazi. Kwenda kama mnataka kuniua, mseme like Ruto is saying that he will carry me. Oh, so when I have this chance, walaya Mungu, I'm going to use it every hour. Professor Onyari, every hour, inch by inch, soil by soil.
Mundu kwa mundu.
Mundu kwa mundu. Mundu kwa mundu.
Bamba to bamba.
That's it. That's my position. Today, nimesema ya kweli, sio? What stood out for me? Rather than beating the bush, oh, where does he support? Yeah, that is mine. And I will not go to Raila's office to seek help. That nipatie shilingi 2 ndio nikupigie campaign. Rubbish. Then what was I doing 65 years on earth? Was I just going to River Nile and urinate? I can sell the last thing I have and I will do the campaign. Mark, you the side that Matsanga stands on always wins. Mark these lips and we shall win. Nyenye Ruto, mujipange, panga, na sisi tupange. You people are not fearing to say these things. You know, one of the problems the Kenyans fear is to say that Ocampo is a thief, is a gambler. He came here to take our women to Mazoe ranch to have sex with them. Panda, you fear that. What did Ocampo come here to do with Kofi Annan? Can I show you the tapes? Can I play the tapes? Some people will run away. They will not have positions here. Can I? Mtu anasema na play. I can play those tapes now. Ocampo came here to take our women, even married women, to Mazoe Lodge. Serena Hotel. Mimi siseme kitu ambayo sina evidence. Usicheke na Matsanga. I can even record you in the bedroom. I can drive my car outside and put there and record you. Ocampo came here to take our women, to break our families. People were not talking. I stood up and talked. Sasa hii mimi meanza mimi shatoboa. Let's not beat about the bush. Oh, scheme. Hii mdabadi na watu wengine wajipange. The posts are plenty, isn't it? Kirimi, don't you see that? Mr. Kirimi, don't you see that there are so many posts? Wajipange, wakae kwa boardroom.
Yes, Dr. Matsanga.
Wajipange, mimi niko na candidate. Niko na candidate ya 2022. Kama inafika, itapigia huyo debe. Wewe kama upendi mimi, go and ask Angel Gabriel who left me alive. Lakini saa hii, mimi siwezi pigia candidate mwenye ananiambia kama nachukua madaraka, adadipoti mimi, niende as a cargo dead meat. I cannot give my support from London to a candidate who is going to wrap me in a cargo plane and deliver me to an enemy to slaughter me. I'm not seeking protection from Kenya. Makio, I'm already protected. For some of you who might think I'm seeking protection from Kenya, muanze kuangalia macho pale ngine, please. It's impossible. But I cannot. I want to protect the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He leaves the presidency in safe hands of a man who has suffered, who did not make others suffer. But Ruto has not suffered. He will make others suffer like Museveni. Come, take that statement very serious. One of them is a student of the other. Of course, you know who is younger. Yes, and by the way, I have not brought the Ugandan voters to understand exactly what role the Deputy President plays. They will. Did you know how many millions they land on this Twitter? The campaign might even be, the Twitter might close. They have discovered that kumbe huyu mtu anafanya kazi na ule. So today, if you had any doubts, get it from me. And you know, for me, Matsanga, I don't waffle. I can as well leave if they have told me it was wrong to say this time let Raila also have this 5 is the eldest amongst them. Then wengine wajipange. There are places there ya kujipanga. Mimi, I speak like a Atwoli. I am Atwoli part 2. Yes. Have you seen the way Atwoli? Have you seen? Go and look at my clips when Koinange is interviewing me. I do exactly like Atwoli. That's how I manage the Koinange and Kofi Annan or Campo. I finished them. I said these are thieves. Wafula, Kenny Wafula, over the dollar who was buying witnesses. I finished them. All of them, they were buying witnesses. So Nyambie, Nyinyi wa Kenya, you don't want to speak because you fear to tell the truth about this. This truth is here. Ruto cannot say yes or no. His leg is cut like his legs. One is there, one is here. I wanted to say, if Ruto had real brains to take the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, leo amue anasema no, aone. Sema no, tuone. Sema no, tuone. Sema no, office. Have you seen why the guy is lying to people? He says once he was in the cabinet yesterday trying to beg for Musama. Nikuambie nitoboe tena. Wache tuwache hiyo. Yuko na maneno, mepata. Kirimi, zungumza na mimi na Musa. Na Karanja, itawaambia. Kiko maneno. Aseme no today. Basi tuanze campaign. Machinery itakuja. Hii mambo ya kusema tisha watu. Enda kwa plan B kama unapenda. Tukutane. You know, there is a judge in Uganda who told Chagulanyi that if you don't want me to be in charge of this case, enda kwa bush. Have you heard that? That was very bad for a chief justice of a country. That if you don't want us to listen to your case in this court, Miriam, enda kwa bush. And I'm going to Chagulanyi, you can go. You plan B to the bush. So, our people, surely a country divided, you tell them to go to the bush, then Kampala might not be possible. People have convinced Chagulanyi to fail to remove the case. Then you tell him, go to the bush. But all in all, I know I've taken more minutes. Miriam, that one, for me, it stood up a redemption strategy of Raila, a legacy of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I will speak, I will use this platform, I'm modifying it. Very soon, 2 days or 3-4 of remodifying it. You are going to see a modification. We shall use it from different apparatus. I've been working behind the scenes. You don't worry. We are going to build a legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to leave a legacy, a proper legacy of infrastructure development. On that note, let's take the first break.
All right, we shall be right back after the break. Very well. The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, The expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs. Welcome back. Thank you so much. So just before the break, Doctor was giving us what stood out for him in the course of the week, and the rest of the panelists, of course, did the same. And so I'd like for us, because I'd gone through the headlines this morning, and I see, well, the newspapers today, they all have different headlines, which is quite interesting. And so we do have a lot to talk about. But what stood out for majority of the panelists this morning is what happened on Tuesday there, the Super Tuesday, as it was predicted there by opposition leader Raila Odinga, turned out to be a tsunami, a word that he also loves using a lot. So I'm just wondering, what lessons do you think our DP William Ruto can learn or can take from what happened on Tuesday? And I'll start with you, Javen.
Okay, thank you very much, Miriam. If the deputy president was to learn, he could have learned sometimes back when we were in Bomas of Kenya, when he saw the president telling him, frankly, that he was part and parcel. He was involved in all the BBI process, and he gave 3 members to the steering committee. Therefore, from what go, deputy president has been pretending he's not aware of what is happening around BBI. He was pretending he has no clue of what was happening. But the truth came out in the Bomas of Kenya when you were getting the second report of BBI, when President Uhuru said to his face that you were aware of what was happening, I involved you, therefore don't come here to pretending to Kenyans that you are not aware of the BBI process. Therefore, this comes out clear and shows the character of the deputy president as a man who pretends, as a hypocrite, a man who tries to please the crowds. And I have said this once and again, the deputy president is a man who tries as much as possible to move the crowds, to please the crowds, and that is what he does best. Because when he comes to political rallies, he talks of wheelbarrows and so on to excite them, and at the end of the day, they end up clapping. But when they go home, there's nothing of significance that comes from these rallies. Therefore, that is the true definition of the deputy president. On what happened in Tuesday, and the lessons that the deputy president should learn is that he has been telling us that Kenyans are not fools. And I think now it's time that the reality is hitting him hard, that Kenyans for real, they are not fools. They can make their own decision, and especially in his backyard, especially in Mount Kenya, where he has campaigned for 3 good years. Miriam, today, I'm in this region. When you walk around, the conversation have changed. Nobody is talking about the Hasra agenda. Nobody is talking about the wheelbarrows. Everybody is talking about the BBI and the way forward and the amount of money that is coming to this region. Therefore, when you look at this, the deputy president should learn that Kenyans, the old ways, the deputy president uses the old tactics of KANU. He is behind reality that Kenyans today, they are enlightened, they have gone to school, they can be able to read the document. He has been saying that he is a slow learner, but it's so surprisingly that a lot of young people in this country have read the document. They know the contents of the BBI. That is why when we went for the public participation, a lot of people, and especially young men, they persuaded their MCAs to go and pass the document. And the same young people were the beneficiary in one way or the other of these wheelbarrows. Therefore, this shows that Kenyans have waked up, they know what they want for this country, and we have a breed of young people, who are not in this tribal arithmetics, people who are quite independent because they see a future. Therefore, Deputy President should wake up from the slumber and have an agenda that will take this country together. This shows that he has lost grips with the reality, and he has no concrete agenda. And what deputy president has are empty slogans. You know, he has no ideology. Those are not, this Hasra narrative is not an agenda. This is a slogan and words. These are just words and slogans. He has no ideology, concrete ideology on how, and especially when he talks of hustlers, how will he uplift their livelihoods apart from giving them wheelbarrows? What next for hustlers? I think that is where he has lost everything, because he has no agenda, he has no concrete base that really supports his ideology, and he needs to wake up and come up with a different agenda, because it seems like Kenyans don't want to be divided along class war. Kenyans want to be united. Nobody is ready to go back to what happened in 2007. Any leader who is trying to take us back there will have a tough landing in his political career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I was really stunned by what happened there in Kericho, because the MCAs were ready to vote no to follow the footsteps of what happened there in Baringo. But after public participation there, something that Kenyans were thinking, this is just a formality. Whatever people say there don't matter. But apparently the citizenry there in Kericho went and had to insist to their MCAs that you have to vote for this BBI, because outside of politics, we know we're going to benefit from this. So it is the members of public there in Kericho that forced their MCAs to vote in support of this bill. So that really surprised me, because you know that is the backyard of Deputy President William Ruto.
Difference between politics, that is the positive politics, and campaigns. And I don't know, Africans, we tend to mix the two. Politics is about making decisions, is about allocating resource, is about legislation, is about representation, is about oversight. Secondly, campaign is all about the 2022 in the Kenyan context. What I saw from Deputy President, humans make mistake, but for him, this was a deliberate one. What I saw from him, from my analytical point of view, he was overambitious. Yes, the president, they had a pact. You know, in 2013, they had a pact. They talked and they said, fine, Jubilee Party, I'm going to rule for 10 years. You're going to be given another 10 years of yours. Fine, I don't understand the pact. I was not there. But never had it happened, you know, in any sovereign nation in this global world, whereby the power of the vice president supersedes the president himself. It's very, even in monarchy, you need to be patient. Even in monarchy, look at the United Kingdom, Miriam. What is happening with Queen Elizabeth? She's 94. Her husband, Philip, is 100 years. Her firstborn is Charles. He is 71. Charles has been waiting for his mom. Up to now, they are very patient. And when it happens that maybe Queen Elizabeth passes away, Philip of 100 years will take over. It's all about patience. What William Ruto was not taught in politics is to be patient. You remember one of his kinsmen, Miriam, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. He was a very cunning and a very sharp politician. But there was a time, history revealed that he was even not allowed to speak in State House. He was not allowed to visit Kenyatta. The likes of Kamodo and Jonjo could even block him from accessing Kenyatta. But the guy had one big difference from Deputy President William Ruto. Daniel Toroitich arap Moi was patient, Miriam. He knew what to do. He knew that patience could earn him anything. But now what I see with Deputy President William Ruto, you know, he is overstepping. And the Constitution says the Deputy President shall take any role assigned to him by the President. He's like his assistant. I wish even this Big Four agenda, you know, this BBI, if he disagrees with President Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is the fine part now, if he disagrees with President Uhuru Kenyatta, he could have talked to him in the boardroom and told him, President, I'm here for you. We are together. I may not agree with this, but please, I'm not going to oppose you in public. Very many vice presidents and deputy presidents and presidents disagree, Miriam. We know that. It's very evident. Mike Pence never agreed with all the things Trump has to say. There was a time Biden had to disagree with Obama on the issue of Libya, on the invasion of Libya by NATO forces. Now we are seeing a populist vice president, unfortunate enough, And this will be going to any advisor of Deputy President William Ruto. I'm not lying to you, Miriam. This is my pure political analysis. And anyone listening to this television can agree with me. You cannot overstep the sovereign and the symbol of national unity. No matter the mistakes they have made, the mistakes Uhuru make is also the mistake Deputy President William Ruto makes. The success President Uhuru Kenyatta makes is the success William Ruto will have also. But now we are seeing the child, the prodigal child trying to delineate himself from the father, and it cannot happen. And it is very funny. I've never seen things in my life. Miriam, I've watched Latino politics, I've seen American politics, I've seen one of the most stubborn people to be on earth, the Arab politics. Go to Iraq, go to Iran, the Shias and the Ayatollahs. I've never seen in my life, and Dr. Matsanga will agree with me. Ahmadinejad, the president, or Hassan Rouhani overstepping Ayatollah Khomeini. Never. But Ayatollah is here, very strict. Ayatollah will tell people, if we found you stealing, we shall cut your head. But Hassan Rouhani, the current president of Iran, Miriam, has never overstepped. So this shows, I don't know if your advisor is Dennis Itumbi, that is political stupidity, Miriam. Why do you have to mix BBI with campaign? Very stupid. I've never seen such a miscalculative leader in my life as William Ruto. Even the newest nation in African continent, South Sudan. Look at Riek Machar. When he saw things are bad, Riek Machar left. You live with honor if you disagree. But you are seated here, humiliating in the name of deputizing. And the reason why I really blame Uhuru, I really blame Uhuru, Deputy President William Ruto for this. Look, mistakes are there. We are not perfect. That is the reason why we have the State House, we have Office of the President, we have Office of the Deputy President, Harambee Annex. Why can't you talk to him in person? So this shows high sense of political stupidity. And I will tell to Dennis Itumbi, the one animalistic human behavior by Farouk Kibet, I will tell them face to face. Man, we have a lot of good political science students in this country. They should hire more. Man, this is not what should be happening in Kenya. We've had George Saitoti. We've had Joseph Brumbi. Miriam, we've had good presidents in this country. But it's a joke when the very doctor of zoology, I see a very simple political agenda. I could have told Mr. President, I respect you. Hii kitu ya BBI kuna makosa niko nayo kidogo, lakini sisemi kwa public, lakini nitakusupport. No, now your problem is going there to shout. Populism has never helped. Populism killed that woman from South Korea. She is now in jail. Populism overthrew Trump. Populism overthrew David Cameron. Populism pushed home Theresa May. Populism. I can count for you, Miriam. But now here he is, he's not learning. He's not learning from all those things, Miriam. And so my humble submission. My humble submission to Deputy President William Ruto, man, hire competent people who understand African policy, people who understand foreign policy, people who know what is happening in Tigray region, people who know who is Farmajo. The good thing about President Uhuru Kenyatta is yes, he might be weak, but look at the people surrounding him. Very sharp people who can talk to him. So my humble submission is, this is not politics for William Ruto. This is a pure lottery, which he has lost in Las Vegas, Miriam. That is my humble submission.
Okay. Very well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And it's quite interesting because I think that was on the front pages of the Daily Nation, Douglas, as you come in, big split in Ruto camp over BBI, and key allies are pulling in three different directions. One faction wants a deputy. These are his advisors. One faction wants Deputy President William Ruto to ignore campaign and focus on 2022 election, ignore the BBI referendum campaign and focus on the 2022 election. And the second of his advisors are advising him to back the BBI ahead of the referendum. And the third group is advising him and they're actually pushing him, according to the Daily Nation, to go and lead the no campaign. I think he does not have I don't think that is something he's willing to do. He stated that before. But Douglas Kirimi, all that happened this week, do you think DP can learn anything, especially from what happened from his supporters?
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you for that question. one thing we need to analyze from the DP William Ruto is that Deputy President William Ruto has never stood for reforms in this nation, has never stood for anything that touches on the lives of ordinary people. DP William Ruto has never stood for anything that will change the face of this country. DP William Ruto, when he was in Kanu, he was opposed to CDF coming to constituencies, and they tried ruling out that possibility in their Kanu government. When Murioki Karu of Okarau that time constituency brought the bill for agitation of CDF so that development can come to our constituencies, and also money can be decentralized from the national government to constituencies. Dr. William Ruto was not very keen in supporting the same. 2005, 2010, his history is full of doublespeak and also no stand for reforms. So William Ruto cannot lead a successful no campaign, because number one, it means he has to fund the no campaign 100%. All the people that surround Dr. William Ruto are parasites. I have never seen a kitty where these people go and contribute money every Friday. Instead, they go and pick money from his office every Friday. And remember, this is not money that he has made from proceeds of his hard work and sweat. This is money that he has been taking from government coffers. And at the end of the day, this is same money that has the taps have been closed. He can no longer steal from any government project. There is no contractor that can be called to Karen and also be given instructions to part with a 15% or a 20% kickback. Why? Because these people know that power does no longer lie in Karen. He is no longer in charge the way he was in charge in 2013, 2017. Again, is Dr. William Ruto willing to lead a no campaign in this country? No. It requires him to have strategists who will be paid very highly. It requires him to have grassroots leaders who will be paid, because Dr. William Ruto, nobody does anything for him wholeheartedly or out of goodwill. They all go there to suck his brand and also suck his retro resources. At the end of the day, again, reading that campaign from that perspective is no, he cannot be able to do that. The people that are telling Dr. William Ruto to support BBI today, BBI, when the BBI was being launched at the Bomas of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto raised 6 very valid concerns that endeared him to the people of Kenya and also to the audience, that made the BBI promoters and also supporters take one step back and also distracted the president from making his point, until Dr. William Ruto made sure that the house was brought down. So people will be asking, what happened to your concerns that time? Were your concerns factored in 100%? There are people that believe in DP's camp that when DP comes together with the people that he has been bashing for over 2 years, it will bring a lot of problems to his camp. Because William Ruto has been spending a lot of money, especially around Mount Kenya region, trying to tell the people of Mount Kenya that, do you want wheelbarrows or you want BBI that is going to create positions for the people at the top? Now, people are going to ask him, when he starts supporting BBI 100%, what happened to the positions for the top chiefs in this country? What happened to what you said is a belated parliament, over 600 members of parliament? Very valid concerns from ordinary Kenyans will be asked on Dr. William Ruto, and he is not ready to be questioned. He is a man that is not known to listen to anyone, and he is not going to, number one, respond to the valid concerns from Kenyans, as he also brought those valid concerns on the same. There are also the people that are telling him to concentrate on his 2022 bid. Remember, Miriam, in 2010, Dr. William Ruto lied to the people of Kenya in broad daylight that, look here, guys, when NLC, the National Land Commission, comes into place under this constitution, all idle land in this country is going to be taxed, and also after taxation of your idle land, your cases are going to be resent from Kadhi court. He sent a raft of issues around 2010, and those issues have never come to be. So the people that are lying to Dr. William Ruto that this time round he can be able to abandon the BBI train and concentrate on running for president, these things might not become true. Like, he may not abandon it completely, because the whole world now, the whole population in the Republic of Kenya is fixated on this BBI momentum, this BBI constitutional moment. There is no way William Ruto is going to abandon what is being spoken in villages by the grannies that are in the villages, especially the woman that you studied the other day from Kiaro constituency. People know what is going on in the country now. The only conversation that you can convince people about is about the BBI. You are either with yes or no. And Dr. William Ruto, when he stood by his allies and also people that advise him to go directly to 2022, they are trying to cage him politically and also finish him politically. So my conclusion analysis is that Dr. William Ruto is a man on periphery. He cannot go to Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta today and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and tell them, guys, I'm sorry, you need to include me on the table today. He cannot go and humble himself and say, no matter the position you give me on the BBI train, I am coming the way I am. I have abandoned my allies and supporters. I have come to the BBI table. I support BBI 100% without continued questioning of government agenda, without continued criticism on the person of President Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto cannot come to the BBI camp 100%. So what Dr. William Ruto will do at the end of the day, he will continue fence sitting. The next question before I conclude on this remark is Dr. William Ruto going to rest on this fence-sitting business? This fence-sitting business was finished on Super Tuesday when all counties, 42 counties, declared that they are going to support the amendment, the BBI Amendment Bill of 2020. Because at the end of the day, William Ruto can no longer continue fence-sitting. So the three options, William Ruto is not going to adopt either of them. So will he continue fence-sitting? Still fence-sitting for him and on Tuesday. This is a man on the periphery. If he talks about 2022, Kenyans are saying 2022 is about 18 months away. We need to talk about BBI. Are you supporting BBI or are you not supporting BBI? This is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Today, the Reader Katiba organization too is very disintegrated. Martha Karua today says that he has no problem with the BBI, but this BBI has been connected with Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta, which he has a problem with, that it is connected with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Did he want the BBI to come from Martha Karua organization, the Reader Katiba? So at this point, Miriam, when no matter how you look at it, the position that Dr. William Ruto will take from this position, it will be very unpopular and it will have a lot of consequences on his supporters and also promoters of BBI like myself, who will have a lot of questions to ask him. He has been destroying the BBI for the last 2 years. What has changed now? The valid concerns that he had before, because not all of them have been factored in the BBI report. How is he going to respond to his people? This exposes Dr. William Ruto as an hybrid political conman who has been lying to the people of Kenya, an hypocrite who has been lying to the people of Kenya that reforms are not necessary, but the ordinary people, the poor people of this nation know very well that they need reform so that they can take more resources to the people, Miriam. They know that they need these resources so that they can be taken to the grassroots, so that they can be able to uplift their lives, and also, Miriam, so that they can be able to change their way of life. Because, Miriam, we cannot say that since the Constitution of 2010 brought the devolution, it has not changed things. Things have changed in counties. Counties have been able to funds have been devolved to counties, and also transformation has come. With over 55.5 billion in Mount Kenya region, the region is going to transform. Other regions are going to transform. What is the alternative Dr. William Ruto brings? It's a wheelbarrow. It is a shame today to have a deputy president in the name of Dr. William Ruto as an hypocrite who carries and professes the name of God everywhere that he goes. But at the end of the day, he knows very well the people of Kenya are not ready for a 2022 duel. They are ready for a constitutional moment, Miriam. And that is what is my position. Okay. And that is where I am. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. James Bitoro, thank you so much for watching. Well, we started a new link. That's why you cannot see the older comments there. But thank you so much. Continue commenting and asking your questions. And of course, the panelists will respond to some of the things that you're saying, and everybody else who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now you've mentioned something there, Douglas, about William Ruto, DP, abandoning, whatever he's been championing for and joining President Uhuru Kenyatta and the rest of the BBI team there in support of this. But as we know right now, DP is in a pickle. He's in a very difficult position that he put himself in, Mwibu Kujidunga. So now he does really not know what to do. And perhaps, Doctor, would you say the most difficult thing for DP to do right now is because after the handshake and the BBI was formed, he said this BBI is for two people, for Raila and for president and the rich people and the dynasty. And they said, us as hustlers, this has nothing to do with us. So that has been his main, criticism on the BBI. So now what will he go back and tell the hustlers? This is not for all of us?
Miriam, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I want to be bold as my three younger men here on the panel, and yourself. It is do you know why Ruto has behaved that way? And do you know why that headline is like that? Compensational politics. Politics of compensationalism. You see, when you grow in a house which has no toilet, and then you go to the bush, and listen to me carefully. You go to the bush when there is short call, bush, long call, bush. I tell you, you always get annoyed to see the other house which has a toilet and you don't see those people going to the bush. So you grow with a heart which has what we call paranoia, anthropological traits of paranoia, turns you into a compensational, into politics of compensationalism. Ruto told you in a breakfast meeting in 2018 in front of American senators, American preachers who had come in Safari Park Hotel. Do you remember what Ruto said in front of President Uhuru Kenyatta? Raila? Yeah, everybody was there. What did Ruto stand up to say? If you remember that word, and if the production team can play what Ruto said, but if they can't, let me summarize it of what he said. He said, Your Excellency, blah, 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 I stand before you from a humble beginning. I am very lucky to have come all the way up to where I am sitting on a table with a son of the founding father of this country. I want to tell you that I did not have shoes. My first shoe was from a butter shop of that Luo man called who? What was the name? There was a Luo butter owner in Eldoret. Luo, you see, Ruto brought out, Miriam, he told you who he was. His first shoe, a butter shoe. Then I'm here, seated with Uhuru Kenyatta, whose shoes might have come from London, isn't it? Or a son of a president. If a person comes to you and tells you that, the first thing you do, be careful. Tomorrow is going to steal your wife. Tomorrow he will kill you and take your wife. Tomorrow he will kill you and take your property. That is how to study crime. Criminology is studied by the mind of such words. You study background of a person. How did this person come to make such a statement? So, because you didn't have shoes. How many people grew up going to school with shoes? I walked on feet, bare feet, to school. And there were no shoes. So Ruto told you that that is what he plays Stockholm syndrome politics. Musa, you went around it. Stockholm politics. Douglas Betty Bundi, you went around it. You hammered the point home. Stockholm syndrome. A man who holds others. Kama utulikuwa offline, I would tell you what other word I can tell you. He holds you. Anakuja, anakushika where he knows you will not run. Deputy President is politics. And Miriam, to come back to your question. His politics thrives on fear and violence. That's all. Instill fear. Tell the people that Uhuru has taken all your money in Gatundu. That's why we did not have shoes. You were walking on feet, barefoot, because Uhuru's father stopped his father from buying shoes. Turn the other coin of the man is telling you it is because of that Uhuru's father that he did not buy the shoes. So he's gonna struggle to make sure he turns Uhuru down, upside down, and wear Uhuru's shoes. He was telling, it was a signal. When President Uhuru Kenyatta stood up in that prayer breakfast, you saw the way he was handling his microphone. When Uhuru starts touching the microphone, you know trouble is coming. He says, today is not a day for politics. Some people have said some things I don't want to. And he finished within 4 minutes. It was over. What did it tell you? The relationship was no more. The relationship was no more. Stockholm Syndrome, 48 laws of power. The man is caught up. The end result, if you come towards 60, when Ruto comes towards 60, is now 52. Do you know the type of mind he's gonna have? He will have a mind called hop, step, jump, 3 stages, and a retreat. That is what Douglas has told us here. He can't retreat and go where? Now the retreat side is where the problem is. Where Ruto now is in Nandi, in a rally, he doesn't know whether he goes forward. He became a hyena. He wanted to eat all of them, but the animals, all of them ran and hid in the forest. Then he looked behind. He can't run back to where the other hyenas were. If the hyenas were still waiting, what ended to him? What happened to Okonko? What happened to Okonko? Okonko ended up having a rope and strangling himself. He committed suicide. So Ruto's mind at the moment could cause us what we call plan B. Musa, if I'm wrong, tell me. Douglas.
You're right. You're right, Dr.
Karanja, Miriam, is plan B. The guy is going to plan B. Don't you see? Because he can't do the end of this. He can't stop a campaign for 2022. People are going to say, no, we don't want to hear. Isn't it Douglas who has said people don't want, no, Karanja said, people want to hear the, Karanja and Douglas said, they don't want to hear the 2022. They want to hear BBI now.
Yeah, true.
Aha. Now, yes, 2022 later. He can't go back and say back BBI. Miriam asked a good question. Where does he leave the hustlers? What will the hustlers ask him? He can't go to no side. because he knows how deep the state is and how shadowy the state can come. He will lose the deputy presidency. His rally will be beaten like a common man. Watu watamupiga kwa rally. Ataenda huko Nyeri, watu wanaenda kwa stage wanampiga. Haki ya Mungu. Have you seen where he has reached? So a man who has reached like that is similar to Museveni of 1981. And I want you people to quote me if I'm wrong. Please, you remember the Museveni of 1981, Miriam? All of you might have been young.
Yeah, but you read from the books of history.
You have read the books of history.
Yes.
He told us hold elections. We put elections. When the elections were finished, he was defeated by Kutesa. Then he said he's going to court. He went to court. While the case was in court, he withdrew the case, and he went to the bush. Ruto is looking for a cause to ignite Plan B. And earlier, the intelligence officers of this country started putting ropes, threads under to watch the better, to keep the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Wacha nitoboe. Plan B. The man is now, the headline in your newspaper there in Nairobi says, big split in Ruto's camp over BBI. I've given you the background, anthropological traits of a liar, a grabber, a thief, a swindler. When you know a Stockholm syndrome is associated with a robber, a rapist, a man who likes women, because clashes come from ladies. Most of African clashes come from good ladies. And I want to tell you the truth. Go and do your research. Go and do your research. The violence that took place in the Rift Valley is good homes versus bad homes. People jumped. People had been admiring. People admire other people's ladies. Ladies bring clash. Men also who are beautiful bring clash in Africa. Do your social study. Look at my son, Javad, is smiling because he knows ladies in Africa bring clash. A person associated with money. Can I ask you one question? You people in Nairobi, have you heard of a factory owned by Deputy President Ruto? Does he have any factory that employs 1,000 hustlers? Is there any factory, that industry that he has built, which you can associate that this is the Ruto industry with an Indian, apart from chicken, which is in Shungoi? Does he have any other factory? The answer is no. Why? Why? He's selfish. Is selfish. Is a trait associated with the compensational politics. Why should I make factory then employ 2,000 Musans to come and work? I better bank this money for myself. I better buy 7 helicopters for myself. I better fight Uhuru Kenyatta. Kenyatta has a farm in Taita Taveta. I better buy one there. Have you seen that? He's wearing a red shirt and a red tie and a white shirt and he's not going to wear. He wears it also. And you know what? This type of people are not shy, Miriam. They are not shy of calling you and say, what shirt are you wearing today? And he also puts on the same shirt. Munakutana kwa function. Then you say, what wanaanza kusema, what is all this? Why didn't you change the tie at least? So that syndrome, the last point I want to make is the point Musa made. That, and I want to make it very clear here. Can you ever marry a friend's wife when the friend has divorced the wife? Dennis Itumbi and 5 others were sent away from State House, isn't it? For bad behavior and other things. Immediately they left the State House. Guess what happened? His Excellency the Deputy picked on them and put a political team, a misinforming team, a public relations stance, what that writes Twitter. If you ask them if Twitter was not available, can you construct an English sentence? Itumbi cannot. And that's what Musa said. And there are no competent political professors who know what a strategy is to be advising the deputy that it is very bad for you to kill the legacy of your man. Because tomorrow you might also be a president. I don't think Uhuru Ruto can tolerate for 1 minute someone to come and start a campaign in 2022. I don't think so. After he has taken over power, a man who is even telling his supporters who are saying they will deport so many people. So if they can tell me, a foreigner, what about Karanja, who does not even like to see the name? You will send the country into a revolt. Some other tribes like those in mountains of Nyeri, they will go to the bush. They will look for a way to fight their way back. So, in a nutshell, Miriam, there is nothing he can tell the hustlers. He's an embarrassed man. He's a cornered man. He can't return this way. He hates Raila. He dreams Raila. He eats Raila. He does not like to see him. He fears Raila instead of being happy and lucky that Raila brought him to the limelight. After Kanu 92, his picture had gone down. Raila forgave him. Who were the youth wingers who were arresting? Who made Raila to run away? Who? Isn't it Kanu 92? Who was heading Kanu 92? Jirongo, and who made Raila run away? Who? No, you tell me. Also, all of you. Isn't it Ruto? It's YK 92. Who made the Wamwere others to be arrested? Who? It's YK 92. They are still here in town. Some of us came back and saw them. They are here. They could not listen to anybody. You in 90s, 80s, you are found with a name written, a small white paper like this, and you have written Raila Odinga. Do you know where you would end? In the Nyati house. And you are put under. There used to be big snake there. I don't know where they have killed it. It's not a story. So, The guy is in catch 23, catch 22, 3 groups. And because of that, he's going to lose support. He's going to lose support. That is my submission. It's long, Miriam. It's a long one, but I hope people have picked some words. He will lose support. He can't go back. He can't go left. He is stuck. He can't keep quiet because Ichigwe. Now, do you know the slogan they have invented? That whether the BBI passes or it fails, it doesn't affect Ruto. This is now a propaganda from Joseph Goebbels. People said that on Facebook. The constituency that Ruto has remained with is called Twitter and Facebook constituency. A county, if it votes, they can give him the votes. But the rest of the county and Kenya has moved on. Thank you, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. And Karanja, we do understand that the DP has not been keen on taking a position when it comes to the BBI, and we see from all indications he's not been in support of this process there, and so is a lot of his supporters. Do you think he owes his supporters for him to take a stand so that they can understand which way to go? Does he owe it to his supporters to take a stand on the BBI?
Yeah. As a leader, Miriam, a leader is known for what he stands for. But here we have a leader who calls for win-win situations, a leader who calls for who fence city every time. Therefore, he owes the people, especially the constituency of the people he termed as hustlers. These hustlers, Miriam, as I was telling you in my previous contribution, when you come here in these regions of Mount Kenya region, the guys are confused. They don't know whether to support the BBI. They don't know where their leader has disappeared into. They are being left in a dilemma. They don't know where to go. And that exactly a reflection of what their leader is in. Therefore, when you look at this issue, the deputy president owes the people, especially the people he has been calling hustlers, the guys that he has been donating wheelbarrows to. He owes them an explanation. Why is he not supporting the document? Why is he opposing? He is not coming out clearly to lead the no campaign or to go back and retreat and support the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. But Miriam, as I said yesterday, Deputy President might use his Tanga MPs to oppose the document. He might not come openly to oppose the document, but he will use his surrogates, his lieutenants to oppose the BBI, and he'll use the like of Moses Kuri and others to oppose and Cherali Gay to oppose the document. But at the end of the day, what is the alternative? Because he has been opposing the BBI, but he is not giving us a solution. He is not giving us a plan B. Yes, BBI is not good according to them. What should we do? Yes, it's not working. What should we do? What are you giving? What are the solutions? And now they are telling us they'll do that in 2022. And this thing of deputy president, every time he goes to his supporters, he talks of 2022. I will do this in 2022. When he was in Lunga Lunga, he was telling them, when you do this in 2022, I'll give you additional 100 million for the constituency development fund so that hustlers will get a direct income, will get some loans from the CDF offices. These things of I will do. When he is still the deputy president, why doesn't he do it now when he still have the mandate by the people? We elected him. Why is he not doing those things that he is promising the people of Mount Kenya region, the coastal people? Why is he not delivering now when he is still the deputy president? And what has he delivered when he was a member of parliament in his people in Eldoret North, now the Soy constituency? What did he do at Tarbo? What did he develop the region so that we can go and benchmark and see what kind of reforms do we expect from the presidency of a deputy president? When he was a CS of higher education, you know all what happened. When he was a CS in the agricultural ministry, things turned out to be bad because of the corruption that escalated with his leadership. Therefore, this is a man, at some point, I don't see him having any ideology and on the issue, and that is why you see him now. He has come up with a narrative, a hustler narrative that does not reflect does not have the grips on the ground. It is just here on the air. But when things start unveiling, the people disappear. He has also disappeared. He is nowhere to be seen. Therefore, from my own understanding and my candid opinion, I think the deputy president should come out. He should not live in these cocoons, hiding somewhere and using his surrogates. He should come out as what Raila Odinga does. Come out like a man. You are man enough. Come out. Oppose the document. Support the document. Nobody will kill you, because at the end of the day, it is your democratic right. But if you happen to support, we Kenyans will hold you accountable, because you have been opposing it from word go. Why? What have changed? Why are you supporting it now? I think the option that he has now is either to go for the no campaign and lead and act as a, Miriam, even if your leader has no support and he comes out as brave enough to oppose all these things that have been, he has been opposing the document. He has been opposing the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Why is he afraid when an impeachment motion is looming? Why is he afraid when he asks to resign? He needs to walk the talk. The government of the day is not referring, is intimidating you according to you. Why are you not, when President Uhuru asked you to resign, you retreated back and you went mum. Therefore, he need to come out as brave as he is, and a leader is known for what he stands for. He has been opposing the document. Why now? Why now? Why are you retreating now when things have come out that 47 counties have supported the document? He needs to come out as brave as he is, and he owes the hustlers. Let hustlers know they have a brave leader who can oppose, who can be consistent. Miriam, a leader is known to be when you are consistent. When you look at Raila Odinga, you'll see he is consistent on what he has been saying. When you look at Musalia Mudavadi, he might not be that strong, but he is consistent on his calls for economic reforms. When you look at President Uhuru Kenyatta, he is consistent in his calls for unity and a peaceful country. But look at the deputy president. He is the one person who camouflages like a chameleon. When a chameleon goes to a dry grass, it turns like he behaves like romance. When you go to people who are mourning, you start mourning. When people are happy, you get happy. Therefore, he needs now to come out and declare his stand and to be consistent. Today, now Miriam, listen to him in Nandi. He will change the tone. What he said in Baringo is not what he is going to say in Nandi. What he said in Nyandaro is not what he will say in Kisumu. Therefore, I challenge the deputy president, be a leader enough, being consistent, have a ground, stand for something, go for one thing. And at the end of the day, Kenyans will see you for who he is. And the reason why you see his camp dividing, the likes of Mwangi Kiunjuri saying they want to support the BBI, where the likes of Moses Kuria want to oppose the BBI, and they're in the same camp, is because their leader has no support. He has no stand. He is a man who is trained by whips.
So it is a ripple effect.
Come out, and if we continue with that trend, he will lose supporters. The people in his Tanga MPs will retreat back to and the OEM. He needs to come out as a leader, because a leader is one who stands for something, and who goes for it, come rain, come sunshine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Douglas, I don't know, do you find it rather interesting when DP's allies like Murkomen and others come out and say, you're forcing the DP into being the leader of no, because the DP is not interested in that, so stop forcing him to be the leader of no. Well, we know very well from his actions and his utterances which are out there in public that the DP already assumed the no position long time since the handshake and the BBI, and he's been very categorical, saying this was not part of the Jubilee agenda, as this is not a priority according to him. There are other things that requires the country and President Uhuru Kenyatta to focus on. So BBI is not something that he wants to be part of. So he's assumed the position of no. I don't know if he wants to be the leader of no campaign there. He said he's not, but his inability to take a clear stand on the BBI, does this reflect on his character as a leader, Douglas?
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you for that question, so that Kenyans can now understand the particular kind of a leader that we are dealing with. Miriam, when these people say that Dr. William Ruto is being pushed to say no, They are all wrong. We all have smartphones. We have radios in our villages. We have radios like Radio Panchira in Africa that can get anywhere in the world. Everyone can see the news. Can see on the news in the television. They can watch. They can listen from radios all over. And at the end of the day, for over 2 years, Dr. William Ruto has been moving across the Republic of Kenya, saying that BBI is for a few bosses at the top. It is creating positions for a few people. He is about to give everyone a wheelbarrow so that we can talk about the poor people, the Roy Poroi of this nation. The poor masses bought the it or hook and sinker. At the end of the day, when these people tell us that DP William Ruto is being pushed to say no, he has been saying no for over 2 years. Do we ask Murkomen and his people and also supporters of William Ruto and his advisors, when are we going to get a public bell so that we can ring it on his ear so that he can do a press conference and say, I have said no officially? Whereas we know when he was in Kiritiri in Embu County, he said that the BBI is not a priority. It is creating positions for a few people. Then he asked the people, when BBI comes into your place in Mashinani, in the grassroots, are you going to vote no? They said yes. And then he went to Meru town in Makutano Junction between the Meru Nanyuki Highway and the road to Maua and asked the people, do you want BBI that will create positions for 5 people, or you want wheelbarrows that are going to transform your lives as rural people? And the people answered William Ruto and told him, Dr. William Ruto, we want wheelbarrows because people have to praise him. At the end of the day, in Maua Stadium, he asked the same questions. In Narok, in Nandi, everywhere William Ruto has gone, especially around Mount Kenya, which I have correct evidence under my folders and everything that he has said. I know what he said at a particular market, at which church, and everywhere, including when he was in Gatondori in Embu County during the burial of a sister to Cardinal John Chue of Catholic Church. Remember, this is the same man that has been opposing the BBI report for over 2 years, even before he knew what was inside. Why would we now be told that we are forcing him and pushing him to become a no campaigner? William Ruto is the bona fide and also the team leader of the no campaign for over 2 years. Not unless he wants to abdicate the duty and leave the Asiras in the darkness, like Jevan Karanja is saying, like Dr. Masanga has asked, like yourself, you have asked Miriam, where does he leave the Asiras in this case? This is a man that has spent considerable number of resources. He has used a lot of, in terms of logistics and also money that he has poured in churches and also other places in Bonda circles, trying to sway the minds of the people from the BBI report. This is a man that has invested in opposing the BBI, defiant to his boss, Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta, and also making sure that the people of Kenya are pitted against the people that are promoters of the BBI process, people that want this constitutional moment to come to the people of Kenya. There are many countries across Africa and also in the world that have done amendments to their constitutions. It was not even about them. It was about the future of their country. Many people that have done these amendments have passed on. They have died, but the amendment remains in the constitution. In this constitutional amendment, it will not be written that it was pitting William Ruto versus the duo of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. It is the constitutional amendment as is spearheaded and proposed by the people of Kenya, by their sovereign will, without being coerced and also being forced by anyone. Remember, Miriam, we are dealing with a lot of political hypocrites, and when we talk about hybrid political conmanship, high-level kind of political conmanship, we are talking about Dr. William Ruto and his group of allies. Dr. William Ruto has been moving on every platform that you'd get. He said actually he is going to stop this BBI process from taking place if they are going to joke with him. But we have seen he has been unable to do that. Why would Murkomen and also the allies tell us that they want, people want to push Dr. William Ruto to say yes? We cannot wait for a press conference from Dr. William Ruto from Karen to say that he is a yes campaign team leader. He has been a team leader for over 2 years now. We need to demystify this aura that Dr. William Ruto has created around that he is a victim of circumstances. He is a victim of his own actions. He is a victim of his own mind and also miscalculations politically.
Very well.
He has been able to miscalculate these things without knowing that the people of Kenya are going to submit their signatures. After the signatures, he never knew that the county assemblies, even after inviting them for lunch and pouring a lot of money in their pockets to bribe them, they have turned against him. 42 green counties have been declared that they are supporting the BBI Amendment Bill 2020, Miriam. At the end of the day, we need to be as clear as day and night, black and white. Dr. William Ruto is the bona fide leader of the No campaign. He is the leader and he cannot depart from the same position that he has adopted for over 2 years.
Very well.
And this kind of chameleon politics is what we are talking about, Miriam, when we say he is an hybrid political conman, an hybrid hypocrite who has continued and moving from our political circle, right, left, center, lying to the people of Kenya. He is saying, right, Jevan says, he says one thing in the morning, in the afternoon he says another. Before he goes to bed, he tweets another thing. This is Dr. William Ruto for Kenyans to see and see a man with no consistency. William Ruto has never adopted a position that is outside opposition to the BBI report.
Okay.
Uhuru Kenyatta and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga have adopted a position from day one that Kenya is ripe for an amendment. Kenya is ripe for hearing. Kenya is ripe so that we can be able to change Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and take it forward. They have never changed their position. But Dr. William Ruto is a chameleon, a political frog that keeps jumping from one place to another, keeps moving and also changing positions, lying to the people of Kenya. These people that you have been lying Dr. William Ruto to, they can see, they can be able to put out clips of you speaking in Nyandarua, speaking in Meru, speaking in Embu, speaking everywhere in this country. We need to demystify when they speak, when they stand to speak, they speak deceit, falsehood and hypocrisy, Miriam.
Okay.
I have nothing to say. I tire speaking about Dr. William Ruto.
Very well.
I tire speaking about the men that have been accused of corruption, coercing as advisors to Dr. William Ruto, lying to him so that he can become a political chameleon, changing his color from morning to noon, from noon to evening. Before midnight, he adopts another position.
Okay,
this
thank
is the
you so
man
much.
that we are dealing with.
Thank you
This
so
is a
much,
man that
Douglas.
goes to Kiambu and tells the people of Kiambu,
All right,
I
all
love
right.
you so much, I love Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta. But when he goes to Meru, he says, how waganga na watu wanakaa Nairobi. People don't come to the grassroots. But when Uhuru Kenyatta comes to you and asks you, muulizeni anawapenda kuhusu nini? But people have no option but to listen to their leaders. Miriam, we are dealing with a very dangerous political,
Very well.
hybrid
Douglas.
political conman who keeps lying to the people of Kenya.
Thank
as
you.
if these people of Kenya don't listen to Radio Pancho in Africa. As if they don't listen to their local stations.
All right.
As if they don't watch this television, Miriam. I tire talking about Dr. William Ruto.
Okay. Thank you so much. Musa, what we see here, even the supporters of DP are also divided. One team is telling him to not focus on what is happening right now and focus on the 2022 election. The second team is advising him to back the bill ahead of referendum, and the third is pushing him to lead the No campaign. And so it's already too divided, even for the people who are advising him. And then the deputy president himself has been unable to take a position on the BBI and his inability to do that as a leader. Does it reflect on his character as a leader? And also, does he owe his supporters some sense of direction when it comes to such an important thing as the BBI?
Miriam, mine is very simple. I'll have to ask one question to Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And it's a question any political strategist can ask. It's what we call scenario development in military science, in strategic politics.
Repeat.
Would you allow
Is it called?
the same to happen to you if you become the president?
Musa,
Let's say,
Musa cannot
Can
hear
you-
you. Musa
can
cannot
you
hear
repeat?
you.
Can you repeat that? I'm interested. You know, I keep on learning.
yes, it's a golden principle.
Is it called what?
It's a strategic studies.
Denial.
It's called scenario development.
Scenario. Because
Yes.
yeah. Scenario development. Yes.
So Miriam, you are told like maybe when maybe BBI was to be formulated, those committee of experts, they formulated a plan called scenario development. What if? It's called what if. What if Kenyans will not, what if we will not reach 24? What if 47 will vote out of 47? What if? That is now the scenario development. You plan ahead of yourself. Now I'm thinking ahead by asking Deputy President William Ruto, what if he becomes the president? And the question I'm asking him, would you allow your deputy in future to behave the same way you are behaving to Uhuru Kenyatta? That is the question I'm asking. Would you allow your deputy president in future, Dr. William Ruto, if you become the president, would you allow your deputy president to behave the way you are behaving to Uhuru Kenyatta? Because there is one bigger mantra which the monks and the Buddhists apply to. Dr. Matsanga, they say, the monks and the Buddhists, they say, for every action one does, there is a reaction. For every action you do, there is a reaction. For every sin, there is a reward in hell. For every good you do, there is a good reward in heaven. So I'm asking Deputy President William Ruto, would you allow one day, if you happen to be in that position, the same to happen to you? Because there was this professor, I forgot his name. He said any leader should avoid 5 P's, Dr. Ari, 5 P's. And all those 5 P's I've seen in Deputy President William Ruto. P number 1, popularity. When you have the anger to be popular all the time, local news headlines, NTV, Radio Punchline Africa, everybody is talking about you. You want to create influence and you want to create attention everywhere you go. That is popularity. Number 2, greed for property. Are we not seeing that in Deputy President William Ruto, Daktari? You are telling people you can empower them through wheelbarrow, you can empower them through giving money, but look at the amount of wealth one cannot declare. Number 3, yes, Daktari. Number 3, we've spoken about popularity and property. Number 3 is power. This man is greed of power. This is the man who can kill anyone. He can kill anyone for blood. As Dr. Matsanga puts it, and I repeat today, he is not the kind of a leader who can go with 2 cards in his pocket. The cards of losing and the cards of winning, as Dr. has put it. P number 4, prestige, Miriam. This is a man who has made his communication portfolio to be more of something even powerful than the president's communication team. He wants to be viewed wherever he goes. You see William Ruto in Kayole, you see it on Facebook live. You see William Ruto giving out, buying banana, you see it live. Prestige. You die for prestige. P number 5, pomposity. Anything you do or anything you say, you want to add salt, you want to add attention, you want to add more creation to it. Let me tell you one thing very simple. Deputy President William Ruto has been speaking about this hustler narrative. If he could have been so genuine, Dr. Matsanga, and says class politics, we could have understood him. But now he has gone to add more pomposity of saying, mutu ya wheelbarrow, mutu ya barabara, mutu ya choo, mutu ya viwanda, pomposity. And even though, you know, we might disregard him a lot of times. There was one dictator who said, when Allah wants to destroy a nation, he makes a certain leader impervious to reasoning. Is Deputy President William Ruto in reasoning? We've seen a lot of leaders who have compromised. And a question I'm going to ask him, if indeed he's a man of God, and the other day Dr. Matsanga spoke about redemption. You know, William Ruto, I don't understand the man. The other day, President Uhuru Kenyatta stand out and said, kama nimekukosea, nasema pole. The question I'm asking Deputy President William Ruto, does he have the heart, if indeed is the man of Bible, if indeed is the man of God, to say sorry? Sometimes we overthink and we say, oh, you know, this is a leader impervious to reason. Can he stand up one day and say, Mr. President, I'm sorry? It doesn't show you are weak. It shows how mature and how deliberate in your positive thinking you are. These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. And the final question, Daktari, if indeed Deputy President William Ruto don't agree with his president, his father, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, what will make us convinced that he can agree with Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, a walking dictator? We are speaking now about foreign relations, Daktari here. What can make him be convinced that he can talk to Xi Jinping of China, someone who cannot even hear you? You know, sometimes we take the qualities Uhuru Kenyatta has for granted. Uhuru Kenyatta can stand in a hall and laughs and everyone can listen to him. Can William Ruto convince indeed the crooks of like the one of the indomitable leaders like Muhammadu Buhari, who cannot even listen to you, leave alone even looking at you? Yes, you are busy despising your deputy president. You should know when you come into power, the leaders who are in power in the African continent will say, oh, the man who despised his senior, yeah, we recall him for that. History will never forget you. How are you going to behave in African Union Congress? How are you going to behave? Or how are you going to even talk to one day maybe Kim Jong-un? Let me tell you, President Uhuru Kenyatta has one of the best diplomatic skills a leader can ever have. Not anyone can stand up and say, sorry, Daktari. The other day he stood up and said, kama nimekukosea, I'm really sorry. He even joked in that Bomas of Kenya and he said, me and Raila, we were going this way. Ruto amepita hivi, ameturn around. And people are laughing. The question I'm asking Deputy President William Ruto, do you have grace? Do you have honor? Do you have charisma? Do you have humility? Do you have humbleness? Do you have the skills to be a leader? Because being elected is one thing, and being the man of honor is another. Magufuli is a rude man. Dr. Julius Kambarage Nyerere was man of honor. There was a time, even Daktari, the Catholic Church were planning to make him saint when he was alive. You are being a man of honor. Now you are busy creating not only class politics, you are busy creating church politics. If indeed you really care about God and Jesus Christ, why can't you visit those Akorino churches in those slum dwellings of Kibera and Mukuru kwa Njenga, if indeed you are a man of God? Why all the time we are seeing you in those permanent structures, if indeed you are a man of God? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. And Daktari, to make it final, we Muslims, we are known. You die today, we bury you today. And does anyone mention now Yusuf Haji? He died a week ago. Everyone has forgotten about him. So he should know when he's handling nomadic politics. And Daktari, you lectured me on this. You told me nomadic pastoralism, and nomadic politics is one of the most complex in the world. He should understand. William Ruto, we shall forget you very quickly. We shall forget you very quickly.
Pastoral democracy.
Pastoral democracy, I'm sorry, pastoral democracy.
Yes.
We shall forget you the same way we forget when we bury that person. We don't carry around caskets saying, oh, lazima ombewe. Yusuf Haji died in the morning, he was buried in the evening.
Okay.
And the same is our politics. We do one thing and we forget about you. You know, Akusha cannot come around and say, you know, William Ruto, we are not that type of people.
Okay.
Let me tell you the truth. And so the people you are purporting to follow. The question I have for Deputy President William Ruto, are you man of honor? Can Queen Elizabeth listen to you when she comes to Kenya? Can Biden talk to you the same way he has called Uhuru Kenyatta? And one thing I'm very sure, and I'm very deliberate about this, Deputy President William Ruto has zero knowledge on foreign policy. He has zero knowledge on African states and Pan-Africanism, because he blatantly said in public that he has no regard for history. So where are you going? One of the greatest musicians, Bob Marley, said, in this great future, you can't forget your past. I submit, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. And before we leave the Kenyan stories, we saw that picture that is in all leading newspapers. That is the Daily Nation. This is the Star newspaper, and this is on the Standard newspaper. This afternoon, the leaders that were at the State House yesterday, we see Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, President Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, Charity Ngilu, Wetangula, and Gideon Moi, the senator for Baringo, who read, the speech there on behalf of all the leaders that met yesterday at State House. I don't know, when you look at that photo.
I go?
Yes, Doctor, please.
Miriam, here we are. Look at this. Have you all read this?
Mm-hmm.
Douglas? What Musa has just summarized is an exit strategy. Musa, you forgot one P, patronage. So I add one for you. They were not actually 5, 4, they were 6, patronage.
Yes.
He likes patronage. He likes people to pay patronage, homage. Kuja kwangu. Kuja, Karen, kuja, kula, chapati. Patronage. He thrives on patronage. When the ICC was looking for properties, he took all his properties somewhere in Kampala. He remained with nothing. So, does it surprise you that now all of a sudden he's very rich? You see all those questions, one day they will come out. So, all what he's looking for is an exit strategy. I am just giving Musa, don't tell your students to run away when you are lecturing. The 5 P's create an exit strategy. If you over-popularize yourself in Kismayo, or Mogadishu, in Mogadishu, look at Trump. You are talking about Trump. He created the 6 P's: popularity, populist. He became a populist. Americans loved him, but see, at the end, it ended up in tears. Now, this picture, Miriam asked about this picture. I've already summarized the picture. Do you want me to talk about it again? I've already said the picture. In this picture, there seem to have, there was a tough talk behind the scenes. And to come out with this picture, you can see there is a general agreement among these guys that let's not hassle about these things. This man sacrificed 7 million votes. He got 7 million votes. But he said, okay, I've lost. The second time I've lost. Okay, fine. But let me look for my brother called Uhuru Kenyatta. we put a country together. That picture for me, Miriam, she's not there yet. That picture sends me, delivers the message I've delivered you already. Hey, Karanja, that picture is very clear.
Yeah, it is clear like day and night.
Among days, there is one man who will lead that nation.
Yeah, the fifth president is there, and we can see him.
You can see.
Yeah.
The one reading the speech will be among those, but not the president. So that it is like that. You can see. Take your time, but you come later. It's a general mood now. It's a general mood. Everybody, when this campaign starts, people will say, let's sympathize with Raila for once. The guy has tried. Like Kofi Nana, the one of Ghana, Nana Addo. The man, he tried. Ghanaians later on say, please, let this guy also try. So don't rule out Raila. It's a force. For me, Ruto's strategy, I know it already. And I've told you. Musa, Kirimi, I've told you, put your eyes there. He wants to trigger a crisis. Okay, let's ask, if the three don't work, now yourselves, have you seen why I told you there is an exit strategy? Okay, if the three don't work, what next?
Plan B.
Plan B, yes. And in case the state, because he doesn't know what the state has on him. Corruption cases are very many. We don't know which one the state can decide. Any citizen of Kenya could go to court and demand the court to tell them interpretation of the article about whether the deputy president qualifies to run for another presidency, since he was in the other president. Your constitution did not seal that loophole, isn't it? And the bench of the judges could interpret it in a different way. And your dream could end there. After the Supreme Court of the country had decided, where else do you go? The bush. Where Kenya Army, formidable as it is, will smoke you out. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, wherever you are, we have done our best today. I want to give the opportunity to thank you all for having attended this show. This is a Good Friday. So as far as the show is concerned, we have come to an end now. But let's look at the programs, infrastructure program of the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Infrastructure. Production team, put that video. Then put that video, Miriam. We are coming to the end of the show. We would like to end with the video. There's that infrastructure video yesterday. If it is ready, get them played. Then one sentence we end up, and we thank God to meet on Sunday. but we shall have 1 minute or half a minute to say bye-bye. And I wish you a good weekend therefore later on. The radio people who continue with the radio, thank you very much. Some of you, I will communicate to you, talk to you about the next week's program and today's programs, and so on. Musa and my friend Douglas and Javan, I will talk to you next week how we plan it. I just want to say thank you very much, all of you, for having joined us. You have made this company great. So many people listen to you. Yes, and we shall make it great. Let's look at that video, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is it coming?
The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, the expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs.
It's okay. Thank you very much, viewers. That is a showpiece of Punchline Africa TV, and I want to thank the team for doing a great job. We shall be doing bigger jobs on that. We shall be bringing you many of these starting from next month on Monday. Miriam and other people in the group will continue to bring out, because many people in Africa, many people in Kenya seem to have forgotten that behind all these politics, behind this shouting up and down, President Uhuru Kenyatta has delivered a legacy. The roads are moving. Construction, cement is getting dry in the concrete. We are having new roads, flyover in town. Apartments where we sit, we can see cars flying nearby us. Something is changing in Kenya. Believe me or not, we are going to be on top of the game. And I thank you, Miriam, and your team. Continue to do that. Continue to say the truth, what you have said. Time comes, as Shakespeare said, the world is a stage where you come, play, and go. Viewers, we have been here since 10 o'clock. And I would want to give my panel to say the last word, then return the Miriam to say hers. She closes the topic. Let's begin with Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga, for that opportunity. And also for our viewers, you have seen the comparative analysis between what Dr. William Ruto moves around the country, right, to the people of Kenya, saying that he has not been able to come up with a program on how to oppose this document. So he wants to continue fence-sitting. The people of Kenya are known to be decisive. The people of Kenya are known to be very straightforward. That has also been echoed by Joe Biden, the president of the US, when he has said he has thanked the president for his steadfastness and also help in containing the situation at the Horn of Africa. This is a very welcome gesture from the people of the US, from their president to our president, and also to the people of Kenya, to the people of our country who continue offering so many human sacrifices to contain the situation around the Horn of Africa. And now, especially now that there is lack of humanitarian help in the Tigray region, Biden has spoken to our president passionately about the role of Kenya in the region and what we are about to do to help the people of Tigray. And that is what people should see when our president speaks. He does not only speak as a president of the Republic of Kenya, he speaks as the president who cares about the region and our common ambition as a region. So we also thank the president of the Republic of Kenya for not only getting so invested into the infrastructure and the legacy that he is about to leave in this country, but also to our common ambition as a people, as a region, that even the president of the US took time to thank him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Douglas. You have summarized it. The call from Biden was timely. Yes. And as usual, you have not left the question of the conmanship. The conman exists in the Kenyan body politic. Thank you. That's your summary. Musa, summary. 1 minute, not more than that, please.
Thank you so much to all the viewers, to all those people who have contributed to this program. Mine is very simple. We might have differences, we might have political end game as this nation, we might have issues to disagree, but at the end of the day, to all the Kenyans, we might have politics, we might have internal disagreements, but we should also be reminded that we have the sovereignty and the supremacy of the Constitution to protect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have kept your time. Javan, 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. David Marsanga. Thank you to our viewers and my co-panelists for the great show that we have since 10 a.m. And I want to remind Kenyans that apart from the politics that is going, President Uhuru Kenyatta has delivered a lot in terms of manufacturing, agriculture, and so on. Therefore, his legacy is secured, and I hope in the remaining 1 year and some months, he will be able to complete and to do a lot, because that is where he is determined. He has come out as president who loves the unity of this country, and that is why we have a BBI that intends to bring all Kenyans together and to have a united country. And I want to leave our viewers with one proverb that says, the fall of green leaves is the fall of the dry leaves is a warning to the green ones. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Javan. Thank you, Doctor. Conclude for us.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Today is a great day. Emperor Nero called the Romans and asked them one question. Why is the smoke always coming out of your buildings when it is coming to 5 towards the afternoon? What do people do in the afternoon? The people in the cottage, in the empire, in the palace, said, Emperor, in the morning people go to their farms, but afternoon people relax, come back home, they start cooking dinner. That time in dinner in Rome, you can miss everything, but not to miss the wine that was brought all the way from Italy. You know, the Italian and Spain and France, all those wine farms. So he said, oh, so that is the time when they cook. Emperor Nero ended up saying, okay, if that is the way they cook and then make this city have smoke in the evening, because houses come with, if it is winter, you see, if it's not winter, you see smoke. We shall call for the fire. What about if all these houses collected the fire together? How would Rome look like? My people, the Panum, Emperor ordered called for fire and set the city of Rome on fire. You can make a conclusion by yourselves. William Ruto can cause himself fire, self-inflicted wounds. He wanted it. He chose the committee of BBI. He left them to hang there. He abandoned the president. He left him to hang on his own. The president went and collected his people back. He has no people left. 3 groups emerged in his place. He has nowhere to go. The only thing that you must take home this weekend, and I think then come back on Sunday afternoon, is he is having exit strategy or plan B. That's my take. If people don't look at that, Ruto looks a shaken man who could easily run into exile. And from there, he could now wage a war because he knows that the government knows what he does and what he has done. So this is a man watch list of himself, not watch list of the government. I rest my case and I leave it to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Thank you very much. Hallelujah. Thank you, Miriam. Back to you. Send us away.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Javen. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Musa. And of course, thank you so much, our viewers, for watching since about 10:30 there when we started. This has been The Punch, where we look at the week that was, and I think that is what we started with here. Thank you so much. We shall meet you here on Sunday for Africa Showdown, where we get to look at other news making headlines across the continent of Africa. And we do have so much to talk about. Of course, that a petition that the opposition leader in Uganda withdrew early in the week. Bobi Wine withdrew that petition from the Supreme Court of Uganda, citing a couple of challenges and frustrations from the court, and also the insecurity that has persisted in Nigeria. Very important conversation we shall be having there on Sunday. But for now, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.